First of all, hello, my name is Thomas. Greetings from Cologne, Germany. I'm the head writer of the German movie outlet Leinwand Reporter, and congratulations to a fantastic movie. I enjoyed it so much.
Danke.
And let's talk about it. An easy standard question to the beginning. Please introduce your character and the part in the story.
All right. I play the character of Clementine, who is a young woman who came from the countryside, because the moment that she heard the trials of a presumed murderer, she was afraid that he was innocent, and she became obsessed with the trial. And so she comes to the big city, she comes to Montreal, she meets the main character, who's Kellyanne, and they both share an obsession for the trial, but for very different reasons.
What were the interesting parts for you in the movie and in Clementine? Why did you want to audition for the part?
Actually, to be honest, when the audition came to me, I didn't think it was my casting. Like it was not usually the type of character that I was auditioning for. She was a lot louder than what I was used to do for characters, and so for a moment, I almost didn't believe myself when I saw the character at first. I was like intrigued to understand what they saw in me that was a good fit with the character of Clementine. And then when I understood it, I could not unsee it again. I think I share some kind of fragility or like vulnerability with the character of Clementine. She's extremely sensitive. She is fascinated by stronger people than she is. And so that was like interesting for me because I think I had a dynamic in real life with Juliette Gariépy, who plays the character of Kellyanne. We had an extremely different, but also similar on some levels, relationship on set as our characters. And yeah, like I was truly fascinated by her as an actress because she's such a strong woman, and I would just like look at her and be like so interested in her, just like my character was interested in her character. So that worked for sure. And I think that our dynamic was ultimately the final element that made Pascal choose us in our characters, or at least choose me to play Clementine.
Yeah, that's perfect. You already answered my next question, which was about the relationship. So you both did an amazing job.
Thank you.
Mm, the movie deals a lot with obsessive behavior with your character, especially the mental issues. How did you prepare for the character and the crazy elements in real life, like the dreaded rabbit holes with the pretty boy criminal or groupies,
Yeah.
etc.?
Um, as I said, I think I surprised myself by being closer to the character than I initially thought I would be. Um, I'm I don't like true crime just because, but I think I'm saying that now because I've done the movie, and so I'm like traumatized of true crime. I don't want to watch it again. But even before that, I think I had a feeling that I don't know, just like cautious about true crime. There was something about it that I knew I was kind of fascinated, just like almost everybody is, but I also like didn't want to be fascinated by it. Anyway, all this to say that I approached a character, I think, in a very introspective way instead of like looking outward. And I like when I started to recognize some elements in that character who I could also recognize in myself, that's where I was more questioning myself about like my own fascinations, my own intensity. I think I can be intense, maybe not as intense as Clementine. But like what's at the core of Clementine is the fact that she wants to defend someone who she thinks is innocent. And I think that by defending the murderer, she's defending herself because she's not able to defend herself. And so like it just goes out in this, it's like an outlet for her to defend the murderer. And so I mainly tuned it to my own empathy, I think, for humans, which I think I have. And then for the part of like being obsessed with a killer, like I could not relate as much to that part. So I did a lot of reading. I read pretty interesting books explaining like the phenomenon of groupies and why some women would like fall in love with violent men. It's like it's a true phenomenon, and the psychological reasons behind that are fascinating and weirdly understandable. And so like understanding that from a place of empathy instead of judgment really helped me to really get into character.
Very good answers. Let's talk a little bit about the technical aspect of the movie. The movie works a lot with very long sequence shots. How was it to work in these very long sequences?
It was not easy. It was not easy because my character speaks a lot. I had long lines, long scenes. You know, like my character is just like blah 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 blah, while Kellyanne most of the time is like mm-hmm. So it was like pretty hard because I felt a lot of responsibility for like leading the scenes. It's like such just like technical details, but one of the hardest scenes to shoot was when we're eating at the cafeteria. I don't know if you have that scene in mind.
Yes,
And
yes.
it's stupid. Like I don't know why this scene was so hard, but just the fact that we had to like go through and then like pick our food and then pay and then like meanwhile I'm talking about getting braces as a kid, being bullied as a kid, then I'm talking about her game and then I'm laughing because she doesn't like avocados, which is a joke that works in French but probably doesn't work in German, uh, and in English, but whatever.
I didn't get it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, anyway, so it was just a very complicated scene for that. And it was, I come more from the television industry. Most of the roles I've done before were for television. So it was a completely different experience. It's like I discovered a whole new job that was completely different from TV. So it was definitely an adjustment, but one that was really, really fun to make.
I can see that. It's a good challenge and you lived up to it.
Thank you.
With all the intense topics in the movie, how did you guys manage to be not disrespectful or exploitative with all this serial killer and
Yeah.
urban legend stuff?
Well, this is a good question for Pascal because to be honest with you, like when we were shooting, for sure, a part of me was scared that we would not be able to do it well. Like I was conscious that this was a very difficult topic and that if it was not done well, it could be really bad. Like it's such a, you know, like real lives are at stakes in this topic. So it was, and I'm very sensitive. So it was really important for me to feel like we were respecting the actual lives that were like that were demolished with like killers and stuff. So yeah, I would say for me, like because I didn't have really any control on the final product. All that I could control was the way I felt in this scene. Because even that, like it's hard to control. So I could just really tune into my own empathy and be as sincere as possible. And in every scene, like the scenes were heavy, but I was also in a very heavy mindset because I didn't want to take it lightly. Like to me, it's such an important topic and such a yeah, like heavy one that I it was a pretty heavy film to shoot because I was always kind of with the victims, you know, like at the end, I have this scene where I'm like, now all my thoughts go to the victim, and there's like almost an ironic tone in that scene. But to me, it was very real for the whole film. I was really thinking about that. And but that being said, in the end, I was so happy and impressed with the result because I think that Pascal is such a smart director and he did a wonderful job. And I think you can feel the intelligence in the film and the empathy. Like he did a fantastic job, I think.
I second that. I didn't know what I was going for while watching the movie, and I was completely blown away with the way you handled things. And there are, it's not easy to put a genre mark on that movie, but
Yeah.
the easiest thing is to call it a serial killer thriller, kind of. There are
Yeah.
several thousands of them. What makes Red Rooms so special? What is the uniqueness of Red Rooms?
Hmm. I would say the point of view, because as you said, I would probably describe it as a serial killer thriller. The difference is that the point of view is not, we're never glamorizing or glorifying the killer. He's just in his little box. He's not even speaking. It's like we are we are taking the audience by the hand and saying like, no, this is not the important part. Like, forget about him. What's important is the phenomenon of groupies and is your own fascination for murder and for violence. And so to me, that's what really makes it unique.
Right, right. Good answer. What did you take yourself for yourself as a person and as an actress from the work and the experience working on Red Rooms?
Well, I cannot watch true crime ever again. Honestly, no, but no, it's not true. I think it gave me an interest in the human nature behind criminology and why, not only why we, well, not only why humans, some humans crave violence, but also why, as an audience, we crave it or we want to see it from a distance. I think this is staying with me for sure, and just the fascination that people have for the film to me says a lot about just like our fascination for crime in general. And I think it brings an important debate. I think about our fascination for violence, and then just like on a personal level, to me, that's just like very personal. But to me, being able to play this character was a very big turn in my career, just because I was not used to play someone so far from what I am. I think Clementine at her core has many similarities with me, but I think that when you just see her, like she's at the courthouse and like speaking to journalists and being like super loud and intense, and like I'm not like that. And so it was a very big challenge for me. So on a personal level, that also brought this to me like, oh, okay, I'm capable of doing this, which is cool.
Yes, you definitely are. I'm looking forward what you will do next.
Thank you.
And one final question after the movie. Are you more or less scared for the internet?
More. Definitely more. I was already scared by the internet, but now I'm more scared. However, like, they say apparently red rooms are not possible just because it's too heavy for networks to be able to like stream those things on the dark web. But still, it is pretty scary. Like for sure, I changed all my passwords after filming that movie, and
Yeah,
changed them again when I saw the movie for the first time. So yeah, definitely, it's a scary place, but at least there are some people who are talking about it and asking questions, and so I think that's important.